Hey folks, BlackCross here, and today we have two directs that aired this day, or rather yesterday as of the timing of this recording technically. But needless to say, yesterday we had two directs, and it's funny too, because literally the night before the directs, literally we had Nintendo announcing that they were going to have a direct coming out and everything like that, and everyone was like, oh, Nintendo Direct, finally, at last. And then literally like a few hours later, Sony come out and said, oh, we've got a Direct too. Our State of Play will be airing the same day as Nintendo's Directs. And Nintendo's like, why? Like, that's the weird thing. I felt that as soon as Nintendo came out with their Direct announcement, Sony came in with their Direct announcement, and it's like, I felt heat right there. It's just like there may have not been any words that have been exchanged technically, but I felt the heat. I felt the heat from both sides of where it was like, why did we do this? Like, why did we do this? But with two directs, and apparently according to what confirmation has been said, later on this week we're supposed to be getting the Tokyo Game Show, which is another video game convention thing where video games announced and stuff like that. So, in other words, there'll be more information coming out later this week in regards to video games. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I want to talk a little bit about both Nintendo and Sony in terms of announcements that they have had. And let me just go ahead and say this right now. They've had some meaty announcements. Very meaty, in fact. So let's dive right into it and kind of talk about it, shall we? So the first game that I saw right off the bat whenever looking back into the Nintendo Direct, they had another Fatal Frame game. And it's interesting too, because last year they had Maiden of Black Water, and that was technically one of the Fatal Frame games that was released only in Japan, that never got released in America, and it finally came out to America. And we have another one, Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. Another Fatal Frame game coming to America as well. So it's like, this makes me happy to see that the Fatal Frame franchise is getting like a revival in a sense, which is really awesome. I love that. I love the fact that they're finally coming back and everything like that, which means that I get to play them, which also means I get to be scared the living shit again. I still have yet to have played the previous one still, but I will probably play that one, and depending on how much time I have, I'll probably play this one as well. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see that this game is finally getting a release in America finally. It's about time. So another announcement that was made along with Nintendo that I saw was that Front Missions 1, 2, and 3 are being remade. And I had played Front Mission technically for the PlayStation 2. If you don't know, I played it through the PlayStation 2 Legacy and stuff, and I thought the gameplay was pretty fun. I actually liked it. But to know that 1, 2, and 3 was going to be remade had me kind of surprised. You know, we're going to get the first one this year, and then the second one next year, and I imagine the third one is going to be coming out later on in 2023, probably. No doubt about that. But yeah, they're being remade, so that's cool. And the funny thing is about this next announcement that was made, technically I have yet to have played the first one, and I have not played the Triangle Strategies yet. That is, if the Triangle Strategies have been released. Has it been released? I forgot. Yeah, it came out this year. I lost track of time. Can you believe that? But yeah, it came out this year, and technically Octopath Traveler, I have wanted to play those two. Hadn't got around to them yet, but I want to talk about Octopath Traveler 2, which I didn't think we was going to get, really, in all honesty. Then again, they hadn't really confirmed any ideals about wanting to make a second one, or at least I hadn't heard anyone talk about it lately. But yeah, they're going to be making a sequel, and it looks awesomely amazing. Like, the second I saw it, I was like, wow, this looks wild. This looks so amazing. Like, I don't know what they're doing in terms of developing these games, but they look majestically beautiful. Like, that's that's the only best way to explain it, that they look majestically beautiful with combining HD visuals with the 16-bit sprites and everything like that. They look so cool being put together and stuff like that. It just looks so awesome. I absolutely love how it looks and stuff like that. I definitely want to at least get into Octopath Traveler because of how cool the graphics looks and everything like that. I love the visuals. The combat, with it being turn-based, obviously it'd be something that's easy for me to get into, but it's just, I love how they look. They look so beautiful. And I want to talk about this one real quickly in terms of announcements, mostly because I know a friend of mine had played the DS version of this game, and he said it was actually really good, you know, with it being a rhythm game and everything like that. Plus, it's based around the Final Fantasy franchise. So yeah, for those that don't know, Dear Rhythm Final Bar Line is a Final Fantasy rhythm game. And I at first I kind of turned it, I turned it down, you know, because, you know, it being a rhythm game and stuff like that. But since I played through Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory and stuff, I really liked it, that one. So who's to say if this one won't be as good? Because it definitely will be. I think it will be as good. But my only complaint is that they've already got Ideal DLC, paid DLC, coming out later on from like other game franchises that was underneath the Square Enix umbrella and stuff, you know. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what to feel about that. But, I mean, it's going to be good regardless. Obviously, the base game will be good, so that's going to be something to look forward to as it comes out, of course. So that's definitely something exciting. If you have Nintendo Online and you happen to be in the subscription service to where you can get the Nintendo 64 games, you're in luck, because this one got real meaty. Okay, this one, me and Delmar, when we first looked at this part, we were both like, this was a meaty reveal, okay? Never mind the fact that you had some of these games that they had put in and stuff like that. The biggest ones for us was Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, and Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, which surprised the heck out of me. I didn't think they were going to do that, you know? We figured, oh, one of each game. Yeah, that won't be a big issue, but they released all of them, and it's like, wow! And I know a lot of people are going to be asking, well, what about GoldenEye 007? And it's like, I didn't really play that as a kid, and I really don't care much either way. I know some people are going to be angry and aggravated, but I didn't play it, so it doesn't really bother me as much. It doesn't really intrigue me as much. But compared to Mario Party and Pokemon Stadium, those were my games. Those were my games, essentially. So it's like, to see those on there, that's a big one. That to me, this was definitely a meaty one to see. So I might as well talk about this one, because while there wasn't a big reveal as to what is going to be, Pikmin 4. That's all I gotta say, Pikmin 4. It's just, we've had this freaking rumor reel of like, Pikmin 4 is being in development. And I'm like, is it really? Is it really? Is it really? I honestly was like, actually throwing doubts in the wind and stuff like that. I was literally like, yeah, right, it's not actually being made. Come on, stop with the freaking rumor reel and stuff like that. We all know it's just as false as like the HD ports that you've been bleeding out and stuff like that. It's not going to happen and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Pikmin 4. Well, alright then. I love the Pikmin franchise. I've played through all of them with the exception of the phone and the 3DS game that they've had. But in terms of the main line, I played 1, 2, and 3. I love all three of them. And I definitely am looking forward to what Pikmin 4 is going to be. It sounds like they're going to change the gameplay slightly different, depending. I don't know how that's going to be, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. It says 2023, but the fact that we don't actually have a confirmed date, that gives me a little bit worried as to its eventual release being later in 2023. But I'm still looking forward to Pikmin 4 regardless. That's exciting. That's an exciting one for me. That's one of my high tier ones that I'm looking forward to. They talked a little bit about Final Fantasy VII Reunion Crisis Core, or as it's dubbed, technically named Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Either way you want to name it, I don't really care. It's Crisis Core, it's got SAC, and I've talked about it before, but I'm going to talk about it again. I am surprised that they are sticking to the remake engine of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm surprised that instead of just doing like a remaster overhaul, they actually did a remake of this. Like a pure-on remake. I don't know if it's going to be any different from its original source, but it's literally the same game. It just... I'm still just as shocked. But here's what's even more shocking. There was a lot of people talking about online that it's like, oh, this game could be released in January or February of 2023. And I'm like, yeah, but I was actually hoping to see it possibly come out in December. Like, if it came out in December, that'd be great. But if it came out January and February, it wouldn't hurt me as much. It just... I would have really liked to play Crisis Core a little bit sooner. And then as soon as this got towards the end of the reveal, it said December 13th. Merry Christmas! Like, as soon as I saw that date, I was like, it's going to be a fun Christmas. It's going to be a fun Christmas. Like, I don't know, all honesty, I'm looking forward to playing this one. This is going to be fun. And then the last thing they revealed for their Nintendo Direct was Breath of the Wild 2, or as it's technically dubbed, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. What was wrong with Breath of the Wild 2? What was wrong with Breath of the Wild 2? I don't know what was wrong with it. I guess they just can't call it that. Then again, there's never been a Legend of Zelda 2 version since like its early days, has there? There's never been a Wind Waker 2. There's never been a Majora's Mask 2. Ever since then, they've never had a 2, technically. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they've never had a 2. Or if they have, maybe I don't know. I haven't played many Legend of Zelda games, so there you go on that. But technically, the sequel is called Tears of the Kingdom. Why that's called, I don't know, but I have to say, from what we saw, which was very little, might I add, very little, was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting regardless. But we have an official release date, which is May of next year. Still a long as time to wait, but that's okay. At least we have an actual confirmation date, which means now we can finally put things to rest until next year, probably. Ooh. Not bad. Until next year, probably, more than likely. But still, regardless, it's still cool to see that not only is it still looking as good as we're hoping for, but also, too, the fact that they have a confirmed title as well a release date. So, I'm perfectly fine with that. Now, we got done with the Nintendo side of things. Now we're moving on to the Sony side of things. And while Sony... to my opinion, Sony didn't really have as meaty as Nintendo's Direct was. Nintendo was like a full-on course, really, what it was. Full-on dinner course. And then Sony, the way I saw it, it was more of the dessert course, if you will, you know? It's like, yeah, that's my main thing, but really, in all honesty, compared to the two sides, Nintendo had more to offer. The first part of it was towards like their third-party stuff, like obviously games like Fatal Frame, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, and stuff like that. They'll obviously be released for like multiple consoles, as to be expected. But to see like Pikmin 4 and Breath of the Wild 2 / Tears of the Kingdom, it's going to take me a while to rewrite myself into thinking Tears of the Kingdom. But it had quite a lot of reveals, really, in all honesty. And Sony's was like a little bit not as much, but there was still just something that's good. Especially with the first one that I saw that I liked. And it got me really happy. Like, it got me really happy to see this one. So, I just recently have started playing through the Yakuza franchise, with Yakuza 0, of course. I still have a long way to go before I get to where I am. I mean, for crying out loud already, there's freaking 7 games in the franchise, technically. So, I still got a long way to go to play through all of them. But then we have a new one that's coming out literally February of next year, which is Like a Dragon Ishin. I was wanting to see this finally come out. I've been hearing so many people talk about wanting to see this come out in the West, and it's like, yes, a feudal Japan Yakuza game. Like, when I saw that, I was like, that looks awesome. Why didn't it come to America? Why did it not? I don't know. there has to be some kind of marketing reason. It doesn't make sense to me as to why they wouldn't want to do that. You know, get a little bit extra money and stuff like that. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, even when you think about it, you know? But regardless, we're getting this. It looks awesome. It looks fun. It looks amazing. Thankfully, I still have a little bit of time to where I can play through some of the other Yakuza games, to where I can enjoy them a little bit and stuff like that. But until then, this one still looks just as cool. I am excited for this one. Oh, it looks so good. I cannot wait. In other news, we have a confirmed title for a game that had been talked about called Project Eve. It has now been renamed as, I believe, Stellar Blade. Stellar? I hope I pronounced that right. I'm going to feel completely dumb if I can't even pronounce this freaking name. But yeah, it had more reveal and stuff like that to be actually have an actual proper title instead of just being called Project Eve. It's been called that for a while now, but it actually has an official name, which that still looks good regardless. Now, this game has been stated to be released for 2024, which is quite a long way, but we've got like an early reveal of what is to be called Rise of the Roni. This looks really good. This looks really fun and interesting. I like what I'm seeing so far in terms of the combat and in terms of the atmosphere. I'm actually really liking this one. I really do. Hopefully it'll be just as good and exciting to play through as like Ghost of Tsushima was. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I was excited for that one for a while. Then it kind of died out, and then by the time the game got released and a lot of people were like sharing their feedbacks and stuff like that, I got excited for it again, and then I played through it and I really loved it. So I'm hoping Rise of the Roni will be something like that, except it will try to stay at a momentum that's like a little bit more steadier than what Ghost of Tsushima was. And I know some fans of God of War would be very disappointed if I didn't talk a little bit about God of War, but really I don't have a lot to say about it. You know, my excitement level for it is that it's going to be good. It's going to be good regardless. But there is one thing that I will not lie, and that is I do like the little sneak peek of the eventual epic battle of Kratos versus Thor. I ain't gonna lie, I may not be a big fan of this version of God of War, but my gosh, that scene just looks so flippin' badass. Just to see Kratos throw the Leviathan and Thor throws his hammer and they both clash at each other and stuff. That looks freaking badass. That looks so flippin' awesome. That is just like a flippin' cool ass visual. It's like, you know, if the rest of the thing didn't pick me up, that one did. That one definitely gripped me. It's like, okay, that you win me. You win me. That looks awesome. I can't wait to fight Thor. That's gonna look so awesome. But anyway, guys, that's all that I have to talk about in terms of what I saw in terms of the Nintendo Direct and the Sony Direct. I definitely liked what I saw for the most part. I really was excited for a lot of the stuff. Like I said, my highest peak of like games that I'm looking forward to is, of course, obviously Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4. And then, of course, we have Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to take me a while to rewire my brain into thinking of that instead of Breath of the Wild 2. Trust me, I know there's a lot of you who are having a hard time not saying that as well. Tears of the Kingdom. And then, of course, Like a Dragon, Sheen. That one's going to be awesome to play. And then Rise of the Roni, which record that comes out in 2024. But the fact that they showcased that one and it looks really good, that one's, I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be good. So, got a little gassy there all of a sudden. But anyway, from what we saw so far, it's definitely gonna be good. And the Tokyo Game Show will be, I believe, this weekend, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But once they get theirs up and everything like that, I'll be definitely looking out to see what game reveals they're going to have. So that's going to be exciting. So thank you so much for watching. See you next video. Catch you guys later.